Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Dana and Wendy coffee time. I am so happy to be here. It's Friday. There goes my, I never learn, do I? My notifications are all going off. It's Friday and we've had an amazing week. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating. I go from being chilled to being sweating. Oh my goodness. Anyways, how are you doing? How was your week? It's been a crazy week with all the amazing things going on this week. We're talking about diet. Did you guys have any questions? Did you have any concerns? Did we say the wrong thing? Did you want to, have a discussion about anything that we talked about? On Monday, we were talking about diet that really connected with our blood typing. So the blood typing diet and eating for that. I still have the book here. I haven't really dove into it too much yet, but this is a really amazing book to get into. On Tuesday, we talked about paleo diet, and this was one of the new ones for me. Although I knew about it, I didn't really research it too much. And it is really does stem from the hunter-gatherer kind of situation where we are eating a lot of, it's a meat-heavy diet, obviously some from people that are hunting, and then gathering whatever was along the road at the time. And so your nuts and your seeds and, fruits and different, good morning, Loretta. And all the different nuts and seeds and stuff that were coming along with that as well too. On Wednesday, we dove into a little bit about the keto diet, the ketogenic diet, and our philosophies behind that. And if you want to hear about that, you're going to have to go back and listen to it. On Thursday, we talked about the elimination diet. So another very therapeutic type diet where people really that are having health issues, gut issues, allergy issues, autoimmune issues, really try to eliminate certain food groups from their diet because, surprise, surprise, most of our health, most of our everything that we are made up of comes from our diet. And although this shouldn't be new news, it is for some people, especially in the conventional health field. Yes, genetics plays a part of it. Yes, there's a lot of different issues that are involved, including environment, including mindset, including everything that has gone on in your past. And this is all part of what makes up who you are as a person. So going through an elimination diet really does start to begin to unravel and unpeel that onion, getting to the core of the onion of who you are, to the root issues, and then building up upon that from there. So that was yesterday, and we talked about, and today we're talking about the best diet out there, if there is really a best diet. Again, it is really dependent upon everybody because everybody's an individual and everybody is going to have different variations and different perspectives on what is good for them. The Mediterranean diet. Now this, by experts, by everybody across the board, has been touted as being the best diet out there. And when I'm saying diet, I'm not talking about weight loss. I'm not talking about for a specific issue or anything like that. Diet, I'm using that term as in the way somebody eats. The Mediterranean diet has actually been shown to, be very, very beneficial on so many levels for lifestyle diseases. And when I'm talking about lifestyle diseases, I'm talking about cancer. I'm talking about heart disease. I'm talking about diabetes, autoimmune issues. These are all lifestyle diseases that stem from lifestyle. So what you eat, how you work, what you think, your environment, your genetics, all these different things. Genetics is it's kind of one of those things that can fit in this pile and then in this pile as well too. So it's kind of a both thing. But when we start to really adjust our lifestyle, the genetics really respond accordingly as well too. So it's that whole, we walk into this life with we are born into this life with a set of genetics and toxins and everything else. It's how our environment, our lifestyle, our world really allows for the pulling of that trigger. So we walk in with a loaded gun, basically. We're born with a loaded gun, and it's not our fault. It's generations upon generations of genetics and toxins and all kinds of crops that just won't leave us until we forcibly allow them to shift. And then again, our whole lifestyle is a matter of whether that loaded gun gets pulled or not. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is for society and people in 2021. It's been that way for a couple of decades now, especially since the industrialized revolution happened, and we've been carrying a lot of issues as a result through the generations. And until we start looking at really diving deep into the getting rid of them, and I'm talking diving deep literally into the cellular level and the mitochondria and shifting things for the better, then we won't get better, and we will continue to pass these toxins and genetic predisposition towards these things as well too. So unfortunately, Dana is not going to be able to join me today. She is off and about and around Ontario within guidelines doing her work. She's doing thermography. I know, Loretta, you're in Barrie, I believe, and if you get a chance to connect, I don't know the clinic that Dana is in Barrie, but I do know she does amazing work, and thermography is a really amazing science that helps to see different hotspots in the body. So not only just the breast, but the full body, and we can see inflammation and all different kinds of things. I'm not the expert on it, but it's something that definitely you should check out. I mean, I know how old you are, honey. We're all there. So it's just the way that life is. And it is one of those tools that's very much adjunct to other conventional medicine as well too. So you use it as a tool to see, different things without it having to be very invasive. It's not invasive at all. Dana's tagline when she works, she hasn't used it recently, but what she uses, she says, people ask her what she does for a living. She says, I take pictures of naked people, which basically is what she's doing behind a screen, obviously, but that's, they have to undress, but it's not invasive by any means. You just get a little cold, that's about it. But definitely connect with Dana, Loretta, and that'd be great. If you have trouble with that, let me know and I'll connect you with her for sure. But it is, like I said, she's off and about around Ontario today, and I think most of next week as well too. So it's going to be hit and miss whether we're going to be able to connect with her next week. But today we wanted to talk about the Mediterranean diet a little bit deeper. It's definitely something to look into for sure, Loretta, and anybody that's listening. It's an amazing tool to be able to use. It's in our toolbox to especially for women, for our breast health as well too. So this is important. So like I said, the Mediterranean diet. So Mediterranean diet, it doesn't mean that you can just go out and eat pasta every night. You got to understand the Mediterranean as a whole, and we're looking at all of the countries around the Mediterranean Sea in the Middle East. I don't know what it's in the Mediterranean. Geography is not my strong suit. It was weird though. I had a dream last night that I was going to go on a big trip though with my family. So that's kind of nice. Anyways, the Mediterranean diet is basically based on traditional foods of the people around in the countries around the Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, that kind of situation. But back in the 1960s. So not maybe perhaps how they eat now. I don't know exactly if they eat the same or not, whether they're very traditional and very segmented, territorial. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm not too sure, but I know that they would have different types of foods in different areas of their country. So anybody that was along the coastline, obviously fish, seafood, a lot of these things are going to be very much big part of their diet. If they're going to be more inland, they're going to be more harvested stuff, grains perhaps, and different things like that. So again, it's going to depend upon what section of the country that they were coming from. But basically, if you think back to the 1960s too, back in that area, you're not going to have a lot of genetically modified foods too. So again, your breads and your pastas, and a lot less pollution in the ocean as well too. These things were all really nice and clean. So this diet doesn't mean that you can go out and just eat, like I said, a ton of seafood and pastas and garlic bread and stuff like that. I think the way that we eat in Western society is very much a Western version of this kind of diet, and it is not the most healthy from a lot of different standpoints. Um, uh, a Mediterranean diet really just has been shown to have weight loss effects for those people that are really concerned about that stuff like that, but also really does decrease and prevent or help to prevent heart disease, type 2 diabetes, premature death as a result from those lifestyle issues as well too. And the people in the Mediterranean, obviously, they don't have a lot of like crazy processed foods. Again, it goes back to that whole food kind of clean food diet that Dana and I both talk about all the time. But the general guidelines basically are that vegetables are pretty much the staple of everything. And then you're looking at your fruits, your nuts, your seeds, your legumes, potatoes, white and red or sweet, whole grains, breads, herbs, spices, fish, seafood, and extra virgin olive oil. That's basically it. In moderation, they're going to have poultry, eggs, cheese, and yogurt, and very rarely red meat. And, even less, and if nothing at all, sweetened beverages, so no fruit juices, no added sugars to anything, no processed meats, so no salamis, no a lot of those things that we really think about with Italian food, refined grains, refined oils, and other highly processed foods. So when it comes down to the processed meats, you got to think back though in the 1960s how these things were done. People made their own like salamis, and they made their own things like this. It wasn't just bought, or if it was bought, it was bought from a butcher that was doing their own from scratch as well too. So not adding all these preservatives and things in it as well too. So yeah, it's not a bad place to visit for sure. I mean, the food alone, I don't know. I'm going to have to dig out the Eat, Pray, Love and watch it tonight or something, thinking about all this. And you're going to try to avoid all of these foods that I'm going to mention now. So your added sugar, we all just talked about that. So no pop, no soda, whatever you want to call it. No candies, no ice cream. If you think about ice cream in the hot countries, you rarely see it. And then if you do see it, it's in the form of gelato. And if you ever had gelato, well, it's a treat, but you don't have it too often. Table sugar is not something that you saw a lot of times. Refined breads, so the white breads, white pasta made with refined wheat. Trans fats, so anything from margarine. Margarine wasn't even an issue or a thought back in the 60s, and is probably still not a thing there now too. Refined oils, so soybean oil, you don't want to have that in your diet. Canola oil, big no. Cottonseed oil, and like all these other ones as well too. The processed meats, so your sausages, hot dogs, and highly processed foods. Anything that's labeled low fat or diet, stay away from. And it's made in a factory. So these are all just things you want to just keep an eye on for sure. And what you want to really dive into, this is the good part, vegetables. So your tomatoes, your broccoli, your kale, your spinach, onions, cauliflower, carrots, Brussels sprouts, cucumbers, anything that you can call a vegetable. And then of course your apples, your bananas, your pears, strawberries, grapes, dates, figs, melons. And if you think about it, a Mediterranean diet, you think about it, grapes, dates, figs. These are really, really amazing what I think of as kind of on a Mediterranean end of things. Your nuts, almonds, walnuts, macadamias, hazelnuts, cashews. These are the countries that a lot of nuts come from as well too. And then of course your seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, all these different things. Legumes, so a lot of your beans, your peas, lentils, pulses, peanuts, chickpeas. For those of you that are kind of new to this way of eating, even if you're just decreasing a lot of red meat and a lot of meat in your diet, these are very much high in protein. Although sometimes people, if it's new to them, are going to have issues with digestive issues with them a little bit. So you go slow into it, and you go very, very gentle on your body to work up a tolerance to that kind of stuff. Sorry. The spices that are used in that area now, do you think they play a part in better health? I'm not sure about that. Well, spices, yeah, I mean, for sure, you're going to have a lot of different uh, advantages and protocols with it. I mean, think of garlic, first of all. Garlic is very, very good for heart health. And it would kind of go into that herb and spice field. Basil, mint. And if you start looking at all the essential oils that come from a lot of these herbs and spices as well too, you're going to get a lot of benefits from that as well too. Rosemary, I don't have my book in front of me with regards to the benefits to herbs and spices, but cinnamon, I know for a fact, because I said a lot, cinnamon is very good for balancing blood sugars. Pepper, Caspian, you're going to have that heating properties within your body, that geothermal kind of, not geothermal, but the physical thermal activation in your body, which is going to help to increase metabolism. Sage is one of the really good ones for women's health. It helps, and again, don't quote me, but it has a lot of properties that really are good for hormonal balance, I believe. Mint, again, you're going to have your mints that are peppermints and different things that are very good for soothing tummy troubles. So yeah, herbs and spices are definitely going to be a big part of that healing process as well too. So I don't have a list in front of me today, but maybe this is something that we can, Dana and I can definitely talk about in the future. So your tubers, so anything that grows in the ground, your potatoes, again, not eliminating potatoes, but just watching what you're putting on them. And Dana had really given a little recipe that she was going to throw together. I don't know if she did or not, with regards to potatoes, with a baked potato and then having some steamed broccoli on it, maybe a little bit of cheese on it. Staying away from the sauces, maybe, just because in a sauce, you're going to have a little bit more, you're going to have maybe some flour, you're going to have some butter, you're going to have cream perhaps, maybe, trying to stay away from a little bit of that, but still having shredded cheese on it. You can put some nuts and seeds on it. You can put some herbs, some parsley, cilantro, something like a little chives, garlic, all kinds of wonderful things. Yeah, so don't shy away from regular potatoes. Just be mindful of it, that, understanding that one big baked potato is going to be a lot better than some French fries or something like that. Sweet potatoes, amazing alternative. Turnips and yams, again, they're very sweet, they're very yummy. It's just what you put on them again too. Whole grains, so looking towards the whole, like understanding that it's anything that you're looking at, if you're not doing it yourself, which most of us don't here in the West, that the word whole is in front of it. So whole oats, brown rice, rye, barley, corn. I would maybe stay away from corn in this end of the world, just because a lot of corn is genetically modified, most of it, I think pretty much all of it. Buckwheat, whole wheat, whole grain breads, pastas, looking towards that. Even if you can get towards like a rice pasta, something like that again too. Unless, again, you're making your own pasta. These are things. I have a pasta machine actually sitting right behind me, but I've never used that. It takes a little bit of time. You kind of have to prepare for it and think ahead. Fish and seafood, big because, of course, they're surrounding the Mediterranean Sea. Salmon, sardines, trout, tuna, mackerel, shrimp, oysters, octopus is one of the big ones. My husband spent many, many years in Greece, and they ate a lot of octopus. He said it's kind of like he's more of a hot dog man, unfortunately. But yeah, he said he tried it, but it wasn't his thing. A lot of poultry, so duck and fish and turkey. Sorry, chicken and turkey and duck. Eggs, chicken, quail, and duck eggs. Dairy, so your cheeses and your yogurts, and Greek yogurt especially. A lot of their cheeses are very aged as well too, except for mozzarella, which is made very fresh. And they say that mozzarella, when you have it fresh, if you make it yourself, apparently, which is quite easy, I've never done it, you are getting some really good, wonderful cheese out of that as well too. And it's very, very healthy for you, apparently. Not the stuff that you're going to get from the store, because again, there's preservatives, there's additives, there's different things in that you don't want to have in your life. And we talked about the herbs and spices, and then healthy fats again. So a lot of olive oil, olives, avocados, avocado oil, and different things like that. And then when we look towards the drink, when we think about what is the drink of choice of the Mediterranean, well, it's red wine. But it's not 3 bottles of red wine. It is more like 1 glass of red wine and a lot of water. It's pretty hot there, from what I understand. I've never been there, but you can imagine. And what is the one thing I know I crave when I'm warm is just cold water or lukewarm water or whatever. Coffee and tea is not off the table, but again, it's what you put in it as well too. So this is basically the oh, have a good day, Loretta. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for hanging out and having a chat with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you had your coffee with you. Next week when you come on, grab your coffee and we'll chat again. But yeah, so this is kind of the basic idea of the Mediterranean diet, and something that, if you're really kind of struggling and, you're kind of afraid of having to give up carbs, or you're afraid of, and when it comes to food, it gets really strange that we become very afraid of different things. We become afraid of ourselves if we have to go someplace that we know is going to be chocolate or goodies, or if we have to go to our parents' house and we have to say no, no, I can't eat that, or I don't want to eat that. It's really quite a shame, because food is one of the big parts of our lives, and unfortunately has become our enemy, and it has become a thing of dread and a thing of our arch nemesis. I can't never say that. I don't know why I wanted to say it, but it's that arch nemesis that has become unfortunate for so many of us, because there is such really good food out there. There is really good quality ingredients. And when we take the time, and if you look at, and this is why I really enjoyed the Mediterranean type diet, is the fact that, something as simple as, say, a whole grain pasta with a little bit of olive oil and lemon rind, just, shavings off of the lemon, that makes amazing pasta. It's just really good quality lemons, really good quality olive oil, really good quality pasta, 3 ingredients. Or, it just is very, very simple ingredients. They used to call it peasant food, but this is the stuff that was hearty, and it was soul warming, and yet it was still really good for you. It didn't have to come from a container with Ben and Jerry's on it. It didn't have to be like a Hershey bar. It didn't have to be a box of Oreos to make the soul sing with regards to foods. Really simple ingredients. And then I'm going to cry, because this is really important stuff, and this is really heart-touching stuff. It's community. You gather with family, you gather around a bottle of wine and some really good food, and the children playing. And I mean, if you haven't watched any of these movies that take place in Italy, where they're eating outside in these great big tables, and there's tons of people around, and everybody's having a wonderful time. It's that community, that sense of, and they're gathering around foods, that ritual that has been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Whereas nowadays, we just, we grab and we go. We don't even sit at the dinner table anymore. We don't give thanks for our food anymore. We don't do a lot of things that was part of the whole digestion, and I'm saying digestion on a physical and metaphysical kind of situation level. It wasn't something that nowadays it's a bygone thing, and people that don't resonate with that nowadays might think I'm a little crazy, but there's some validity to it, and or a lot of validity to it. For if you think of what's going on in the world right now, and how separate we are, and how segregated we are, and if we aren't taking the opportunity to gather in our own homes, it's really disheartening. People are going to have more digestive issues. People are going to have more weight gain. People are going to have more physical ailments from many reasons. But understanding, from my perspective, it begins with food, and it begins with that community, and begins with our relationship with food. And more times than not, it has a lot more to do with that kind of stuff than the actual food. But then you want to look at the food that you're taking in as well too. And it is, simple ingredients, fresh ingredients, whole ingredients, and how it's prepared. If it's taken out of a box, it's come from a factory, it's not prepared the same way as if you are plucking a tomato off the vine and, smelling it, and feeling it in your hands, watching it as you wash it, slicing it, doing whatever it is that you need to do with loving care. This makes a big difference with your food as well too, and it makes a big difference for the people that are digesting it as well too. So I'm going to cut it off there. That's basically it for the diet week that we were talking about today. Understanding that all of the stuff that we talk about, it's more than just food. It's more than just how we eat. It's more than just how we, make meal plans and meal prep and all these different things that is going to make the big difference in the end. Trying to get it across to so many people that it comes down to quality ingredients, your whole foods, your fruits and vegetables, community, your gratitude around the meals, and just taking the time to slow down and enjoy it, because we can't not eat. So you might as well enjoy it and make a small ritual out of it, and then continue our life like that. It's going to make a big difference for a lot of reasons. So stay tuned as we connect next week. Again, I don't know, it's going to be a little hit and miss as far as whether Dana's going to be joining us or not. And I think maybe we'll think of a theme for next week anyways, and go from there. If you guys have any suggestions of what we should talk about, please let us know. And we can definitely accommodate for that, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to provide you guys with some information that you can take away. You can agree with us, you can disagree with us, whatever you like, let us know. That's okay. That's what we're here for. It's kind of like just, back in the day when we were able to get together for a coffee first thing in the morning and chat about stuff that interests us, stuff that makes us passionate. And when Dana and I get together, that's what we do. We talk about nutrition. We talk about, actually, there's a lot of things that we talk about even now that are behind the scenes that we don't talk about on air, but we're trying to keep it PG. So, and keep it pertinent to what people are wanting to hear. So let us know what you want to hear. We would love to do a whole series of different things. I know we've in the past done series on probiotics and digestive enzymes and supplements and different diets and all these different things. So if there's something else that you want us to talk about, this is the place to go because we'll do it for you. Um, and we really have to watch the time and make sure that we don't go over the 30 minutes because we could spend all day talking about this stuff. That's how passionate we are about this. This is how important this kind of stuff is to everybody and us. And I know you guys want to hear it. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Don't look at the snow. I'm not. I'm just bundled up and having another coffee because it's cold. But yeah, love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.